if Ghost had a server browser like COD 4, would it play better? As in, if you could put 42 people on a team, would the game actually play well?
It would just be 42 people at the back on Stormfront, so no. It'd just
Everyone
be a
blending
line
in.
It would look like the opposite of a firing squad. You would be the guy with 42 people with rifles in front of you, and that would be it.
You know what I think it would look like? You know those Navy SEALs pictures where it just looks like a landscape and they say, you know, there's 30 soldiers in this picture and you can't see them. That's what Call of Duty Ghost would be like on PC.
True.
With 50 player teams. You would look everywhere and everything would blend in. It would appear as if the map was empty because of how good the camouflage is in that game.
You know what I think it would look like on Stormfront? You know the part that overlooks the B flag with the glass? I'd expect it to be like an office building of like people that just witnessed like a car crash outside. Everybody runs to the window to go look and see what happened down below. That's what it would be like. Just everybody standing in the window there with their guns like this.
Yes. Just as exciting as a minorly interesting event at work.
I think you're giving it too much credit there. I really think you are.
Yeah, going to work is much more exciting.
Yeah.
Guys, come here! Look at the printer! PC load letter! The fuck does that mean?
You see, you can tell that going to work is better than playing Ghosts because people play Destiny more than they played Ghosts, and that is going to work.
You do little
I've
I've got to
challenges.
get my nightfalls done, I've got to do my daily heroics, I've got to do the raid, I've got to get this, I've got to do this. Once I've got all that out of the way, then I can start having some fun.
Try and get 24v24 on Siege and see if it'll actually work. I guarantee you it'll still suck.
That's a theory. Or that server will always be empty. One of the two things might happen.
Yeah. That server will be banned by Infinity Ward for images of abuse. This is where the hype train for Ghost 2 starts. Oddly enough, we thought it would never happen. We thought that we would never be excited for Ghost 2. I think, to be fair, you can't tell the difference between the water and the road because you're playing it on Xbox One. I'm sure when I play it on PC, that I'll be able to see perfectly which is which.
You'll be able to
You're
smell
correct.
the sea salt. The graphics will be so good.
Just call it a coupon. I think we might have to talk about that later.
Do we have to end the show? Brian,
Bring the show
this
to
one
Scratching
and
Ball
no
right
father.
That's the shortest episode of LagCon Podcast. Remember to like and favourite the video, and we'll see you next week.
It says Exo Grapple gives players a faster way to reach strategic vantage points, aka camping your dick off like a piece of shit, or a brutal secondary weapon to take on the competition.
Only
Is
use
this
me
going to be the
grapple.
Zelda hookshot that you're going to get fucking hookshotted?
This is the Scorpion DLC. Get over here!
Grasp at straws as it falls down the relevancy ladder.
As it tumbles down the popularity ladder, it's I've got hookshot!
It's trying to skyrocket up the sales charts.
Trying to
but-
fucking Batman back up that ladder.
So Frito responds to YouTube comments with wow, and emails with yes. So 3-letter words are all you're getting out of Frito from now on.
It really frees up his day, Brian. All right, really frees up his time to, up until 2 weeks ago, not make videos.
Ow! That came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's a sucker punch.
Hey, man, I think Brian's saltiness is coming through my
Sorry.
webcam, infecting.
You didn't get tweeted out by Vaughn. You're still nobody. Shut up.
Yeah, fucking shut the fuck up, faggot.
give me a gas. Come on, Eddie. I'm cute.
Okay. Harrier strike ready for deployment.
Yeah, like the impact of that. The impact of AC-130 up. Like that was never in a console game before, and really in any shooter game.
Michelle Condry, or whatever his name, Michael Condry, or whatever the fuck his name is. Right? The bitch, not the butch. The bitch one said,
Yeah, the female-looking lesbian in the couple. Nintendo is slow as molasses into the gaming market. They seem like an old grandfather finally accepting that blacks and whites can marry. You know, it's like, this is still a thing? What? They can do this now? Yes, grandpa, dumbass, yes. This is the future, okay? Get with the times, or just die.
How do I place a postage on an email? There's no spot for it in the corner.
Is it still 10 cents? I remember when it was 10 cents.
Their culture is insular. Yes.
Nobody's telling you to pull punches on this show.
Yeah.
I don't know what you
Well,
think.
they are an island nation after all.
Yeah, but
Eddie.
so are fucking we. We did the exact opposite. We were like, this place is quite small. I want to own everything else now. It's easy to do that when you remake the same game every year for 25 years. Like, it's easy to make a good Zelda because they've made the same game like 50 times. They're the AC/DC of rock and roll. You know the reason why AC/DC songs are usually quite good is because they've written the same song over and over again. Well, that's actually only half the story. So the 4,000 bill is if you're still playing on 360, and you can get out of that bill by buying an Xbox One. Needless to say, many people have chosen to pay the £4,000.
In truth, my wife and I should have paid a little more attention. A little more attention. $4,000 later. Yeah, a little bit of give a fuck would have went far away, Dad. When I was a kid, surfing the internet at 12, 13 years old, searching for porn wherever I could find it. There was no incognito tab back then either, by the way. I didn't know how to clear my browsing history. That was a fun conversation. Big dicks and small Asian girls. Frida, what are you up to?
Oh yeah, like
Let me-
you know, FIFA coins are generating so many jobs, right?
Yes, at EA, that $4,000 paid for some, like, a week's worth of salary for somebody right there.
So let me ask a question then. Eddie, Frito, do you guys use auto pay for some of your bills?
Yes.
Like cable bill?
No, I don't.
See, there you go. That's my point exactly. Me and Frito use auto pay for our bills, and Eddie
America.
doesn't. This is what the whole thing boils down to.
I just love the fact that in America, no one ever says, "Oh, there's sharks in the water. Maybe we should get rid of the sharks." You look at the people that get in the water and go, "What fucking idiots!" But you never look at the fucking sharks and go, "Well, they're the ones eating people." No, it's the people's fault. They went in the water when there's sharks in there. Yeah, but they could have missed the sign or any other explainable.
Again, a sign, more regulation. Maybe I want to jump in the water sometimes, Eddie, but no, we're going to have to put layers and a fucking one of those
What you're
roundabout
doing-
thingies that you have to
Right,
walk
'cause
through, and a scan key card and a fucking thumb verification. It's like, no, I just want to jump in the shark water sometimes, okay? I like a little thrill. This dumbass kid probably won't have enough money to go to college now, and I'm glad. He'll work at Arby's for the rest of his life like he deserves because his parents are fucking dumb. I don't need him competing for my job, right? He's taking away my income. No, fuck that guy. Fuck him and his kids and his Xbox. He should have bought a PS4. There, you already know he's an idiot on 3 separate occasions. We've already established this. This parent is clearly not informed on the products his child is buying or how he's spending his money.
Apparently now women can't be victims ever, even though they are in the real world. Like men and women all the time are victims of crime, but apparently we're not allowed to show that anymore because it will hurt people's feelings.
It treats them as objects, quote unquote, but in reality, I want somebody to come out here with a thesis statement saying that it's not that the male characters who protect women treat them as objects. Quite the contrary, they are the center of their lives and values. This is the only thing that I'm going to go across the fucking world to fight every single monster and evil baddie that's possible in imagination in order to fight for is, my daughter, my wife, my mother, whatever. Because, if it's my buddy, I might, say like, can't you get yourself out of this one this time? Come on. I got shit to do. I got this beautiful chick right here in front of me. I'd rather fuck her instead. You're a guy. You can do it yourself. If there was no complications whatsoever, would you sign up to have a penis transplant? So trade yours in for an upgrade, so to speak. Kind of like trading in your car for the new Cadillac Escalade. It's got TVs on it and shit. Are we secure? How secure are we with our own manhood? This is the question I want us to reflect upon. right now.
I'm like 50-50 here because I already know how mine operates. So, like, I already have to adjust my style of sex due to the curvature, if you will, that I have going on down there. So it'd have to be a whole new style of humping. So there would be an adjustment period for sure.
It's like driving a sedan for your whole life and then just jumping in a semi-truck. It's going to be difficult to maneuver this thing. Like, you got to take wider angles as you go around corners. It's, it might not even be worth it. people may die and be maimed in the process of you learning how to utilize this hardware.
I'm gonna have to buy all new shorts. They're gonna have to be at least twice as long.
Well, you know, Karen looks really happy after Kevin's dick job.
She used to never smile. Now she's really happy all the time.
And kind of walks funny. Anyway.
A constant
Developed a
limp.
limp.
Just limping around the office all day long. I like getting outraged over actions rather than words, especially words said in private and in some sort of weird context, thinking it's funny to say, you know, well, there'll never be a nigger for SE, hang him from a tree, fuck my sister, you know, like, right? So, we can laugh about fucking sisters, right? Oh, because hillbillies and they're white, right? That's funny. Or, you know, Mexicans will stab you in the alleyway because that's what they do. Black people eat watermelons. At some point, all these things wash out for me, and I think the outrage over the words is too much.
We're not just dealing with individual ideas. We're dealing with a culture that is homogenized into one group of white people that does still oppress minorities for its own gain. Yes, that does still happen. And the reason why it's seen as worse when they do it is because they've got all the power. These are rich white college kids. The reason why it's worse for them to make that joke than a fucking bunch of inner city kids going on a bus making jokes about white basketball players is because we know innately that they're the minority.
And all groups do this. And to think that somehow white people wouldn't is something that I don't... I think maybe it's because I'm taking a bigger step back and looking at the truth that this speaks to humanity. All groups actually do this. And in breaking down the notion to do it may be important, but this assumption that it's only bad when one group does it, I think misses the point completely.
I think rap music, especially gangster rap, is the whitest music I've ever heard in my life. It's almost universally like ego-driven and about violence and dominance over another, right? Which white people seem to love. So white people buy it in droves because they want to feel like the fucking man and a gangster, and they can do it safely by listening to it on their Walkman, whereas they'd never go up to like an OG on a corner and fucking blow that guy away and take his fucking territory as a drug dealer. No, they've got school and grades to worry about, so they can do it safely through gangster rap. Gangster rap is the whitest music fucking ever.
Frito for president. I think I could campaign on this. A pro-racism campaign would do great in America in 2016. I can see it now. Either Eddie's fallen asleep or can't believe the words I'm saying. He is tuned out. This motherfucker's still going. Really, he thinks this is actually a reasonable thing to say out loud. I do, Mr. Chump. I do, Socialist the Chump.